Hey everybody, what's going on? Just time to check in another video here. Just heading down to Lake Neely Henry right now, starting our practice tomorrow for the Bassmaster Central Open, and then going to head to the Bassmaster Eastern Open the very next week for the Lake Cherokee tournament down there. But man, been a busy week down here. We had our Bridgeford Pro Team meeting, Table Rock, this week. Been working for Fish the Moment. Just trying to get ready for this tournament, working for Bridgeford a little bit on this trip down, so just a lot going on here. And a little bit of housekeeping here before we get started, what I was going to talk about on today's topic. Johnny and I at Fish the Moment, we're starting our second set of the instructional jerkbait virtual seminars. We did the one 2 weeks ago on basically areas as far as what type of areas to look for jerkbait fish at. Super successful tournament. We had a full pack field on it, filled up real quick. And I'm doing another one on Thursday, November 5th. This one's going to be on the specifics of jerkbaits, like what are the best colors, teach you all about cadences and rhythms and why certain rhythms and cadences work better under different conditions. Go over profiles, actions, the right rod and reel setup, the line, the whole deal as far as actually how to trick those fish into biting a jerkbait. This is going to be a super, super informative tournament, or informative seminar. So if you're interested, it's going to fill up quick. Go to fishthemoment.com under our virtual seminars and sign up for it. I think you guys will really like it a lot. So anyway, today's topic is appropriate for where I'm going. I'm going to Neely Henry, which is has a lot of the Coosa River spotted bass in it. In fact, a lot of the Alabama lakes, have the Coosa River spotted bass. And what I wanted to talk today a little bit about is the differences in spotted bass around the country. Because they're all over the United States. I mean, spots are everywhere from California to the East Coast over there, but they're different. The characteristics are different. You have those Coosa River spotted bass, you've got the Alabama spotted bass, you've got those spotted bass like at Lake Lanier in Georgia, you got the ones like in the Ozarks here at Table Rock. We don't call them spotted bass here in Missouri. We call them Kentuckies. Always have Kentucky bass. But even though they are, classified as a spotted bass, depending upon where you're at, the characteristics of the fish are different. For example, if you catch a spotted bass like at Lake Lanier, or like a Coosa River spotted bass there in Alabama, most of the time these spotted bass are super long. They're like almost tubular. They're so long. And they can be healthy and fat, but sometimes they're more thicker as far as the length of them goes. But if you go to a lake like back home, Table Rock, Bull Shoals, Lake of the Ozarks, even some of the California lakes that have the big spotted bass in it, they aren't like that. They're more shorter and they're fatter, and a lot of times they're colored a little bit darker. So they just look different, and there's some type of subspecies different within those that causes that. But regardless, there are some commonalities and differences as far as approaching these particular spotted bass. First of all, if you go out to like the California lakes out there where they catch those giant spotted bass, which are transplants from Alabama, those spotted bass have grown just to freakish proportions out there, mainly because they get to feed on trout. So they've got these easy to catch fatty foods, and they just get super big and super fat out there. And most of the guys out there, they catch them, fishing really deep, suspended for them out there. And clear water, they're dropping on them vertical a lot with the electronics, and they very seldom catch them just covered in water out there. But as you move farther back east, like into Oklahoma, there's a lot of spotted bass, Kentucky bass in Oklahoma. The mid part of the country down here, and even like in Sam Rayburn down there too. They got them all over the place. Just the densities are thicker in some lakes. As you move farther back east, the diversity of habitat that those spotted bass use are a little bit different. And for example, on a lake like Bull Shoals or Table Rock here in the Ozarks, you can catch them all different ways. You can catch them on topwaters, you can catch them on crankbaits, you can catch them on jigs, you can catch them on jerk baits, and you can also catch them deep, suspended, vertical. They just use a lot of different type of water. The diversity of the water is a lot different. And specifically in the fall time of the year, this time of year, I really like fishing for the Kentucky bass with moving baits. Crankbaits are really good, topwaters are really good. Under certain conditions, like on a cloudy, windy day, a spinnerbait's really good. You don't really have to sit there and finesse fish for them like you do at other times of the year. And as you move back east further, a lot of those lakes that have those big spotted bass populations in the lakes that have like a lot of the blueback herring, like Lake Lanier, Lake Hartwell, that type of stuff. Those fish out there are more roamers. There's a lot of diverse habitat in those eastern lakes with the blueback herring, but the difference between the spotted bass on the eastern fisheries that have blueback herring versus the central or western fisheries is you don't have these vast schools of Kentucky bass roaming all different water depths. On a blueback herring lake, the Kentuckies down there, they'll be on the surface busting herring or shad over 80 foot of water. They can be suspended over breaks. They can be suspended in treetops. They're all over the place, and they tend not to be as bank oriented as the spotted bass in the central part of the country, with the exception is if you get up farther up the river. If you lose your water clarity and you lose your water depth, or you don't have the environment that creates a good situation for them to suspend in, those spotted bass on those blueback herring lakes can be caught shallow, up the river, where they couldn't be caught like that down the lake. But a lot of different, variables and variations to that. But Kentuckys are some of my favorite fish to catch. I mean, like I said, they're super aggressive at times. They're really fun to catch. You can catch them on a diversity of techniques, and especially I like them because they bite good in the wintertime. I don't like fishing in cold weather. I mean, I hate getting out there freezing and being uncomfortable, but I really like catching those big Kentuckys all over the country in the wintertime because they tend to be a little bit more affected, a little less affected by the cold water than the largemouth or even the smallmouth for that matter. And they tend to be more of a bread and butter fish when the water gets cold. I'm guessing, like I said, in all my instructional jerkbait trips that I do here in the Ozarks, I bet probably from, say, December to late March, I bet 75 to 80% of the bass that we catch on those trips are spotted Kentucky bass, which was really good. But anyway, I just wanted to give you all a little overview of that. We're going to be doing, Johnny and I are going to be doing a lot of these virtual seminars, monthly from now on out. And we plan on having a course on spotted bass fishing. Probably we'll break it up in geographical regions because it is such a big player in most of the lakes across the country. There's very few lakes, if you're talking about some type of a highland impoundment, that does not have a population of spotted bass. And most of the time, as far as for anglers, especially tournament anglers, they play a part in tournaments, but to great different varying degrees. For example, you can win tournaments on Lake Lanier with just spotted bass, and if you go to Lake Cumberland that also has some really nice spotted bass in it, you can't win a tournament just strictly on spotted bass there. You have to have a mix. So every lake has got a way that you can approach this based upon the density and how the population of largemouth, smallmouth, and spotted bass are divided up in the lake. So we'll be doing a lot of instructional trips, or a lot of instructional seminars on that. We'll just keep you informed on fishthemoment.com. and let you know how it goes. But down here at Dealey Henry, I'm going to be filming my practice again and the tournament for Fish the Moment. I think Johnny's working on all those ones I've done already. We're going to be putting those up, here in the near future, sort of give you an idea of how, I like to break the water down and how my tournament goes, and you can learn a lot of stuff one way or the other on it. But we'll keep you updated, and I'll give some YouTube updates on the tournament throughout the week. But anyway, I hope everybody's doing good. Thanks again for subscribing to the channel and watching the videos. Much appreciated on that. And I'm going to get back to driving here, so we'll check in later. See you.